Okay, what a way to introduce Battlefield Addiction's solution group. That playlist, Nico, is great. And I know that you shared it, and I think Kyle's going to talk more about it, but that playlist is so much fun, you guys. I love it. It's great. You can see people dance into it, and it applies to all of us. Like we all, I think, like it. Okay, so I want to welcome you all bright, shiny faces tonight. Look at y'all. I'm so excited. Tonight is Team Battlefield and Rebuild Recovery Takeover. We're taking over for Art and Angie, who are out of town, and they're out to dinner right now and not even thinking about us because we're going to just do great again like we did before. Couple announcements. Giving Tuesday is coming up November 30th, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And it's a nationwide day of giving to nonprofits, the nonprofits that you believe in, that you want to support. I have a couple different ones that I support. You know, we appreciate anything that is given on Giving Tuesday, whatever you can give, $5, $10, as much as you want to. We'll have a Facebook link for it, and then we'll also have an unFacebook link. So for you ones who don't use Facebook too much or just want to give another way, Becky and I are going to figure that out. So, and we'll get you that information. We'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it out in some emails so that it'll be really easy, super easy. You just click on the link and you just put your information in, and then it pops into our Facebook Giving Tuesday account. And we just appreciate all of you who donate to that. It's fun to watch the totals go up and go up and go up. I sit here the whole day and just watch it. We usually make about 7,000, 8,000 on that. It's one of our bigger fundraisers, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. So we really appreciate all you who give to it. So keep watching for emails and Facebook posts and stuff on that. And any questions, you can always get a hold of me, Becky, or Angie about that. You'll get some things will be coming up on it. It'll be super easy. Mom's group tomorrow from 11 to 12, Wednesdays at 11. We're still on Zoom. At some point we're going to meet in person, but right now we're still on Zoom. Fun hour, just connecting. We'll talk about what we did the night before the solution group. We'll just talk about where we're at in our journey through addiction and through recovery, through our kids' addiction, and through our as moms recovery. We also would love to have some dads on. I mean, we could put it mom/dads group at some point. It's just fun. You just grab a cup of coffee, and there's usually about 8 to 12 of us on there. If it's your first time, I totally want you to show up on your first time. If you can only pop in every once in a while, we love that too. As many times as you want to pop on, that would be great. If you need the link, you can message me or you can message Becky, and either one of us can give you the link. Angie too, she will be able to give you the link. And a reminder, it's tomorrow, Wednesdays at 11, every Wednesday, same link every time. And we hope to see you on that. So I think Becky may have some info for us too.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Well, you covered it pretty darn well. I guess I'll just mention, say thank you to all the monthly partners and people that are donating in other ways, like matching funds or, doing Giving Tuesday. This is the time of year. It gets pretty cold and wet out, and it seems to generate a lot of calls and a lot of need, for people that need treatment and recovery. And so thank you so much, and hope to see you tomorrow at Mom's Coffee.
Yeah. Thanks, Becky. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I got to figure out how to remove spotlight. There we go. I had one more thing to talk to you guys about. I sent out a newsletter yesterday, so you should have gotten it. If you don't have it, check spam, check in Google. I think it might go to promotions tab. Sometimes the Yahoo people don't get it. Comcast people seem to struggle to get it. If you don't get it, let me know and maybe give me a different email address, or look in your spam, or look in your junk mail. It's not junk, but they say sometimes it's junk. It's a pretty fun one. It's a pretty good one. And it should have been posted on our Facebook page too. So a recap of it, but please look in there and see if you have it, unjunk it, or send me another email that might work better, because it's a really good one. It's fun to be in the know on what we're doing and how much fun we're having. So now I'm going to spotlight the Rebuild Recovery crew. Kyle Munkres, he's one of our managers at Rebuild Recovery. He did so well last time he did Solution Group that we've decided to have him back. Art was so pleased with what he did, and Angie, and so he's doing it again. First, he's going to do Kyle's Corny Comedy Corner, and then he's going to go on with it. So. There you go. Thanks, Kyle.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to say that Nico is posting the playlist on the chat, but after the last song, I think we're going to not put it on there, maybe? No, I'm just kidding. It will be on there still. Okay, that was not Kyle approved. Still a good song, though. Okay, to the jokes. So usually when I get a girlfriend, they start getting mad at me. I'm always correcting them. It's because I got erectile dysfunction. Last Halloween, I dressed up like a muffler. It was exhausting. A slice of pie costs $2.50 in Jamaica and $1.75 in the Bahamas. That's the pie rates of the Caribbean. What do you call American bees? USBs.
Oh. No.
What starts with W and ends with T?
What?
That's right.
Whoa.
Today we have pizza. The Hawaiian pizza was a little burnt. Should have been cooked at a low temperature.
Oh.
You guys hear about that new movie coming out, Constipation? Well, it hasn't come out yet. What does sushi A say to sushi B? Wasabi. I have a friend. Sometimes we like to taste food together. We're taste buds. Bundle and Derek walked into a bar. I ducked. I just got a new step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. I found out that my grandpa's addicted to Viagra. Grandma's been taking it pretty hard. Okay. So welcome to another edition of Kyle's Solution Group Takeover. Unfortunately, last Solution Group was really good. So now I'm nervous. So I will try to not be nervous. Okay, but I know what I'm talking about, so that helps. At least I hope so. So it's going to be a little bit different than last time. Last time I had some stuff that we came up and on the screen to help you read, and it was like kind of like a little presentation of this book. And it's going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to do this time is I am going to talk about a topic. And the topic does come from this same book, Leadership and Self-Deception. But when I get to the end point, I do want to have a discussion, and I do want to see, let's see those hands on the Zoom. Let's get everyone involved and let's talk about it. We're going to talk about what I'm about to talk about. Military. I hope you guys join in, bundle, join in. These guys down here, we're just going to discuss and have a conversation. Questions, comments. Maybe if you relate, maybe if you don't relate. Maybe if you think I'm wrong, let's talk about it. Okay, so like I said, what I'm about to talk about is in the same book, and it's actually a precursor to what I talked about last time. And what I talked about last time, if you don't remember, was this thing called self-betrayal. And the definition of self-betrayal was an act contrary to what I feel I should do for another is an act of self-betrayal. So an act that I know I should do, but I end up not doing anyway, is an act of self-betrayal. And they brought up the concept of being in a box. And the definition of being in the box is when we treat others as objects compared to treating them as people. Outside the box, you treat them as people. Inside the box, you treat them as objects. Okay. So I want to start with this thought exercise I was thinking about earlier, and it was brought up in this book. So we are all involved in teams. And in my opinion, or in my definition of a team, is a group of people in a relationship working towards the same result. That is a team. So you could have a team at work, sports, family life, maybe school. Within all these areas in our life, we have teams that we're in. And within this thought exercise, if you have a job out there and within your job you have a team, it might be easier for you to get this. But also, this goes for family. This, like I said, it goes for school. It goes for wherever you find a group of people, a team. So within this team that you're thinking of, well, like I said, it's family or work. I want you to think about one person, and it's one person that you may see as an issue. So it might be somebody who maybe he seems to be dominant. He always wants to dominate, or she. Maybe they want to be the ones that solves the problems. Maybe when you get praise from the results, they take all the praise. Somebody who you see as an issue. Maybe it's somebody who doesn't come in as early as you do, or somebody maybe doesn't take the job as seriously as you do, or family matters as seriously as you do. Somebody you see as the issue. Now, I want you to be able to get real for a moment and put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in this person's shoes and see, do they know that they're the problem? Does this person that you think is a problem, do they know that? Do they realize that? And the answer has to be no. Because what tends to happen is when it truly occurs to us, when we know 100% in here that we're an issue, we have to take steps to change it. So, next comes the next part that I want to talk about, which is complaint. So we think about this team that we're on. Oh, and by the way, I want you to think about yourself in this work situation, or yourself in this family situation, whatever it is. Okay. Think about your part in it and how you are. Maybe you're somebody who goes to work and your work ethic is solid. You get there before everybody else and you leave there after everyone leaves. You stay close on the objective, whatever it may be, and you never bring home drama to work. And I'll tell you why I do quotations in a minute. You don't think you're the problem in that team. Now, just keep in mind that this person who's the problem doesn't know. And maybe if you don't know, maybe you are that person. Granted, you guys have the opportunity to be in solutions every week, so hopefully it's not you. But we all live by our character sometimes. So what tends to happen is we have this team of people, and within this team of people, problems arise. So when problems arise, the thing that happens is the number one thing that destroys the team. It destroys the family, it destroys the work, it destroys the results we are trying to get. And this thing is called the complaint. The definition for me, the way I define a complaint, is when I'm trying to unload my pain onto somebody else. I'm trying to get validation. I'm trying to be superior. I am trying to say, hey, I would never do this. How could they do this? I would never do that. I am better than they are. That is a complaint. And what complaints do, it allows us to look away from here. It allows us to point the camera elsewhere, talk about the problem being elsewhere without coming to a realization, without even considering the possibility that the problem is here within us. So complaints arise. Now, so back to results. We're in a team and we're trying to get results and there's a problem. What do? Well, we have found in this house, the way it works is not through complaint. The way it works is that we have to require others to change. We have to require others to focus on the results. And the way we require others or invite others to change, to do this, has to be from a position outside the box. And I'm going to explain that a bit more. It has to be from a position where it's not complaint. You cannot come to them and ask them to change in the mode of complaint. This won't work unless maybe this person is truly doing some real solid work on themselves and they're in a position where they're willing to hear your thoughts about them, and whether, no matter what form it comes in, maybe it'll work. But if I doubt you're going to be approaching them if they've been doing that in the first place. So, okay. So my example is we have a team. We have a team in this house. This is a team of addicts, and we have a result that we are trying to achieve. We have a few results. The first result is we're trying to achieve this new way of life where drugs is no longer our solution. What happens is the reason why we use is because we cannot accept our current experience. So that could be boredom. Boredom is not accepting your current experience. That could be depression. That's not accepting the current experience. Maybe you had a fight with somebody and you held resentment towards them and now you want to get high. That is not accepting the current experience. So what we're trying to do is find this result where we can now learn to accept the current experience, now learn to accept our side of the street and work on our resentments in our relationships to find a way of life where drug abuse no longer is the solution to this problem that we're having. Another result that we try to achieve is a way of life that has responsibility. So that means chores. That means making the bed. It means holding each other accountable in this house to those chores and to making the bed, and to also staying clean and sober. And also to point out when people are maybe running and stuck inside their thoughts, and maybe pointing it out when people are complaining about other people. Okay, so within this team, I'm going to give example. Now, this is just an example. This is not a real life story. It is, but it's not. I'm just going to use these two people as an example. So let's say we have this house, and what we do in this house is we wake up every morning. Somebody cooks breakfast. They're up by 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30. They know they cook breakfast, so they get up and they get it handled. It's done by the time everyone else is up by 7 o'clock. It's ready to go, and they all take turns doing this. That is an actual thing that happens here. So let's take two people. I will take Derek and I will take Chris. Oh, I have a joke about Chris. I'll say it later. I forgot about it. Okay. So we have these two people. So let's say that Derek is really good. He's really solid at waking up when it's his turn, when it's his day to cook breakfast. He is really good at waking up. He's really good at getting in there and starting the breakfast. He's also really good at making his bed. He's also really good at going to group and participating and talking and all this other stuff that we like to see when someone's being responsible. Now, let's say that Chris doesn't. Let's say that it's Chris's turn to cook breakfast and he doesn't get up. What it tends to arise, especially in this house, is now Derek is frustrated. Derek is frustrated. Every time it's his turn, he gets up. Every time he does his chore, he does it 100%. Every time we're in group, he is there and he doesn't leave in the middle of it, and he participates and he does all his chores. He is completely willing to submit and do what we ask of him. And then he sees this other client somehow skating by without doing these things. So he becomes frustrated. He becomes annoyed. So Derek comes to me and he says, okay, Kyle, here's the issue and it's a form of complaint. Why is it that he doesn't have to do this? And I'm always doing this. I do whatever you ask. And like I said, this is hypothetical. Derek's doing great. He hasn't done this yet. But so he comes to me and he's saying all these things. And I say, okay, well, here's what you have to do is you have to somehow require Chris to do the job. You got to be accountable. You got to hold him accountable and require him to change and do better. So what Derek does is he goes to Stamp's room. He knocks on the door and he says, Stamp, we all been waking up really early to do breakfast. It's your turn, man. I've been doing it every morning. I do my turn. It's your turn to do it. We really got to start holding you accountable. You never do it right. And we want you to get started and blah, 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 blah. Now, the thing is, Derek may think that he is doing this outside the box, that he is doing this without a form of complaint. But the problem is inside of here, he is still stuck with the mindset that this guy's lazy. It's annoying how I have to do it and he's not required to do it. I can't stand that he gets away with doing this stuff. And that energy is 100% transferred. So from Derek thinks that's the way he said it. To us, he says, Stamp, you're so fucking lazy. Come on, it's your turn to fucking do this. You got to get up and do this right now. That's what everyone else hears. Because he is in this place inside of his mind where he finds annoyance with this other person. He is seeing this person as an obstacle, as an object. He is in the box, and he doesn't even maybe realize it. He thinks he might be outside the box just because of the way he's trying to ask. So this is the problem. This is where the problem arises, where we have a team and we want to require change in others. But to do so, we have to find a place of compassion. To do so, we have to see others as people and not as objects. So instead, what does Derek look at in order for him to be in a position outside the box? Well, first of all, he has to realize that it's there. He has to realize that he's in complaint mode, that he finds Chris as an obstacle, not as a person. So once you see that, then the next step is to put yourself in Chris's shoes. Now, I will use this literally to how Chris is. Chris, who's been in this terrible accident, Chris, who had a stroke, he had a brain injury. It's hard for him to go up and down the stairs. The kitchen's upstairs, by the way. He has to live downstairs. So what he would have to do is now put Chris's shoes on and look and see what he is going through and see what's real and see what's not. So from then, he has a conversation with Chris, and it looks something like this. It goes, Chris, man, I get that it's hard to have motivation to get up. I get that it's hard to go up those stairs, but we are required to do this, and we are requiring you to do this. We cannot let you fail. We will not let you fail. We need you to be part of this family and to join us. Coming from the position of wanting Chris to succeed rather than the position of wanting this problem to go away. Does that make sense? Outside the box thinking. So this is a discussion that I want to talk about. Where in our lives do we find ourselves complaining about? Maybe it's work. I want to hear about it. Maybe it's family. We want to hear about it. Maybe it's a point in time where you realized you were complaining about somebody and you were able to talk to them. We had a client here not too long ago, and he said something. I wasn't here, but he said something to the effect that, oh, I don't like listening to Kyle. I wish it was just art and blah, 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 blah. And what struck me is when I heard that, I did not feel betrayed. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't angry, or I didn't feel insecure. And I felt curious. What is it that he sees in me that makes him not want to listen to what I have to say? Maybe he saw me do some kind of self-betrayal. Maybe he saw me do some kind of something where I was hypocritical. And now he doesn't want to listen to what I say because he doesn't think I work a program, or maybe he doesn't think I know what I'm talking about, whatever it is. And so what I did is I went to this person and I asked. I said, hey, I heard that you said you don't like to hear me talk. You don't like to hear me do my groups. I mean, his answer, I didn't get his answer. No, you're great. You're great. That's the answer I got. But it felt great to be at a point where I wasn't caring so much about how I looked, and I was seriously concerned with how I was. Seriously concerned with maybe I had done something wrong there and I needed to make it right. Because it's my job, part of my job here, to help others. And if people are not willing to let me help them because I can't help myself, I need to know about it. I need to change. Okay. So this is what I want the discussion to be about. It's about complaint. It's about change. It's about working on a team, trying to achieve results. Now you find that if you're purely focused on the result, you no longer care about how you look and the insecurities that come with it. So let's say I have a client who I need to do the dishes. And I go into his room and he wants to be angry and upset and mad and say, oh, I'm going to, you calling me a child, I'm not a child, I'll square up, blah, 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 blah. And it's me not being offended and being dominated and being upset. It's me doing what I have to do to get the results. I say, no, bro, listen, dude, no. I'm just asking you to do your part with the rest of the house. I don't want to fight you, bro. I don't get paid to fight you, bro. Like, that's not, it's not me getting my shit hit, because it's not possible. It's not possible. Say I'm in a situation where most people, you're doing a job with somebody, and this job, the result is you have to dig a hole, and you know you have to dig it a certain way, but the person you're working with wants to dig it another way, and they're very dominating, and they're saying it has to be done this way. You're really bad at doing this. Let's get it done this way. I don't think it's going to work that way. It's on me at that moment to listen to what this person has to say. This is a true example, by the way, of working with somebody. Maybe it wasn't digging a hole, but it was me sitting down and listening to their way of doing the job. It wasn't me getting insecure because he was trying to dominate. The result was we needed the hole dug. So I'm willing to sit there and listen to how this guy's behaving because I want to get the result. So it's me sitting there in the way, outside the box, not judging this guy for calling me whatever, not trying. It's me considering the way he's talking to me. Maybe it's something about me that he's treating me this way because something I am. And I sit there with him and we talk and we get the hole dug because that's what the result is about. It's not about me getting it my way, digging it my way, getting the job my way. It's about the result itself. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Complaints, being in a team, results of the team. I want to hear experiences, questions. That's the topic. And we can switch it around. If you have a separate question, I'm willing to answer whatever. Maybe I'm a little bit softer than Art, so it'd be easier. I hope that's the case.
Yeah, guys, if you have a question, raise your hand or unmute. And like Kyle said, if there's any questions on his topic or any questions on what goes on in Rebuild, just totally raise your hand. I loved that what Kyle just said there gives us another glimpse of how the managers in Rebuild work with each client, and each client is different, and it's just great. The things that they do with our kids, they're all the kids, the things that they do with our kids is just beautiful in there. It's great to see. It's good for us parents to see what goes on in there.
There's two things that I do try to focus on is the fact that when we try to require others to change is where our thoughts are when we are doing it. If our thoughts are in a position to where they're complaining still and we're trying to get this person to change, the likelihood of it happening is very nil. Compared to a place of compassion, compared to a place of wanting this other person to succeed, to be a part of, to be with us, to change, to be outside the box with us. Where are our thoughts at when we're trying to ask people for help? Where are our thoughts at when we're trying to ask them to do better? How are we thinking of them? Because that energy translates whether we realize it or not. Derek thinks he's being nice, but in reality, Stamp can hear the fact that he is complaining. He can hear the fact that he is trying to be superior or trying to be better, and he's fed up with Stamp, and Stamp doesn't care, and he doesn't want to help because of it. Yeah.
What if you've gone to this person and you think you've done your best to try to, get them to show up on time and to work as hard as you think maybe they should be working when they're working? It doesn't seem to be getting anywhere.
So what happens is, okay, so the question, do you guys hear the question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I'll repeat anyway. So the question is, what if you go to this person and you're inviting them to change, requiring them to change, and it still doesn't happen, right? So what I find, and the saying is for more than just this, but the way you get others, first of all, it has to be from a place outside the box. So it has to be from a place of compassion. It has to be from a place of you seeing this person as a person, and it cannot be in the form of a complaint. You could act like you're the nicest person in the world. You can act like you're outside the box, but if these thoughts inside are still complaining, it still doesn't translate through.
So that's probably why it hasn't changed.
That's a possibility. Yeah. But is there a possibility that you come to someone from this position outside the box, and even though you're in this position, they still don't change? Yes, it can happen. What it comes down to, especially when it comes to addiction, I can't make someone not get high if they don't want to stop getting high. That's up to them at that point. They want to have to stop getting high. I can come no matter how I come to them, no matter how far out of the box they may be. If they don't want to stop using, they're not going to stop using, and that happens. So there is a possibility. So let's say we're in this situation. We're in this situation where we're trying to require someone to change. We're trying to invite someone to change, and we're doing it from a position outside the box, and it still doesn't happen. What I find for me is that has nothing, it has nothing to do with who you are or how you are. Because what we tend to do is we tend to take it personally. We tend to realize that this person doesn't, we start to think maybe they don't respect us, and maybe that's it. We start to think that maybe they don't find us qualified to help them, and maybe that's it too. But I'm telling you, if it's from a place where you're truly considering these things, and when you bring it up to them and it still doesn't happen, you're okay with it. You know, I'm not, you know, you look for another strategy. You look for another way. You look for another strategy to get the result, to make it happen. There's also the thing that we talk about in relationships when values don't add up, and maybe it's a point in time when this relationship just maybe needs to be cut off or put to the side because it's just not matching up, and the space in between just cannot be cleared up. Maybe it's a situation like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I remember when I was living here, and it's so I was living here. Parker was back for like just a few days. I mean, I think it's been like a week or whatever. But I like specifically remember this because Art got on my case real good about it. And like we were going over the chore list and like the breakfast list. And I think it was me and Liz. There was someone else involved. But like Art overheard us talking like out in the living room about it. And it was mainly, it was because like Parker wasn't late. Like he was going to work and stuff in the morning, but like he wasn't doing chores because he was going to work. And like he'd get home late, so he wasn't cooking dinner, he wasn't cooking breakfast, and I remember it was like a talk amongst a couple other people, and Art got off my case because it was like in my mind I thought I was like being good, you know, like let's come up with a new chore chart and it's gonna work, you know, and I just remember him saying like you got to check your motivation, like
yeah,
like do you really care, like. Or is your goal to get Parker to do chores, or is your goal to let everyone know that you do your chore and you help cook? Like it was a superiority thing, like that I was unaware of, you know. But I totally got called on it, and I don't know. It's just
that's right.
Your topic is reminding me of that because, like,
that's right.
Even when you think you're out of the box, like Chris was saying, like you might think that you've been out of the box and that like you're taking the right, you know, steps to get this person to do it. Like it might not be unsuccessful because they're still in drug addict mode and they're just going to not do it because they don't want to do it.
Right.
It might be like, are you 100% certain
that's
that
right.
your motivation is true? Like, or are you just like,
yeah,
really
yeah,
down to you trying to look good?
Yeah.
Like,
So say Chris has this problem where he's trying to be outside the box, or he thinks he's outside the box, and he approaches this other person. He's trying to invite them to change, and it doesn't happen. So one of the things we do at that point is we look at the way this person is looking at us. So if we see the disrespect there, if we see they think we're unqualified, we look into it and ask why. We find out the reason behind it. Find out what it is inside me that makes him not respect me. What have I done in front of this person? What have I said in front of this person? How have I behaved in front of this person to make him think I'm not qualified? So this is the other issue that happens when we start complaining within the team. Because what happens is you have one team member complaining to the other team member. And that's automatically detrimental because now this other team member knows you complain. Now they know that if you have a problem about somebody else, rather than going to them, you're going to be going to someone else. So say you have a problem about them in the future, they know you're going to complain about them. This is the problem. Complaint is what destroys the team. It's what destroys the result. It's what destroys where we're going. So Logan making that chore chart a form of complaint, or was it him seriously trying to invite Parker to change and do better?
That was a form of complaint because
right.
I never went to Parker.
That's right.
I mean, that was like a big thing. Like, like you're saying, like if I have a problem with somebody, I can't go complain to Courtney about it. Like I should probably go to that person and address it.
Right.
You know.
And so I mean, it gets hard because you'll have people that will be completely obstinate, completely unwilling. And the only way to get through is you have to be at a position where you see them as people. And the only way to do that is to put yourself in their shoes. That you look at their side of it. Just like a few weeks ago when I did the solutions and I talked about the self-betrayal that happened with me, I automatically made up these things and justifications about these other people that were completely inaccurate. Go as far as to say that Bundle was super lazy, that he didn't care about the house, when the fact was is he had COVID and wasn't even living at the house. It's insanity, but it's what we do. It's the way we approach it is through this form of complaint. It's not me putting myself in Bundle shoes and being like, oh, COVID, like it's rough. Not being able to be at the house and take care of your business is hard. Right? Yes. Good answer. Yeah.
That's that Chris joke that you forgot about.
I'll say it after we're done. Okay. Remind me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want people to realize how significant complaining is, how much of a destroyer of what we're trying to accomplish in life. What it does to us is it completely allows us to be off the hook with changing. It completely allows us to be off the hook without looking at our part in life. It's about focusing on everybody else and justifying why you're correct about it. And maybe you're justifying your own self-betrayal. Maybe you're justifying your own way of life, your choices. And the way we justify our own choices are through other people's choices. Like it's insane. Yeah. That's a good one. What's our motivation? See some hands. Let's get some action.
Sherry said that in the chat. She said it goes to intent. What is the intent of the message? Ties
right.
back into our honest conversation talks. And that was really good.
What's the result we want to achieve?
I just want to point out too that the chore chart idea that we had, I don't think ever took place either. So
we kind of have a chore chart. Chore chart.
How far would you think you have to go? I guess, does it just depend on the person, how much you care about the relationship, or how far should you take it as far as your many approaches?
So let's start off with this house here. So the thing with living in this house is that you are forced under the same roof with a bunch of other people. You have to have a relationship with everybody in this house. No matter how you feel, no matter what you think, you got to find a way to have a relationship with them. And I mean, of course, it's going to vary. Some people you're going to find it a lot easier to communicate with and to talk to and to have fun with. And other people you're going to strictly butt heads with. Because what's happening is that we are seeing each other in these moments of hypocrisy. We are seeing each other in these moments of complaining. We're seeing each other in these moments of self-betrayal. And when we see that, it's always an extra tick by their name. They don't do this. They said this about this person. They were lazy when they didn't do this. And now we're building up a case against them. And it's going to make it harder and harder to have a relationship with this person. So the goal is the instant, it's the same difficulty either way if you're actually able to put yourself in their shoes, to actually see the position that they're coming from. It even gets easier if you're able to see the way they see you. Because if you have a hard time getting along with them and they have a hard time getting along with you, they have obviously seen stuff that you have done. They've obviously seen these things about you that they don't enjoy. And it's up, you need to find out what that is.
Maybe they heard you complain about them not doing their chores.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's the biggest one, is they will hear you, without you knowing, they will hear you complain about them. And then what do? Well, they don't confront you. They complain about you about they complain about you, complain about them. You know, the weirdest complaint we ever got in this house was a client who complained about not having any complaints. That was it. Yeah. He said, he's like, well, I don't even know. That's not my problem. I don't even complain about anything. Like I think I'm pretty good. I never complain. And that's a complaint. That is a justification of why he's okay. But yet he's still drinking. Obviously, he's wrong. Obviously, there's something going on there. Obviously, there's a way of life that he hasn't attained, and complaint is definitely a part of it. Because without complaint, we are able, if we didn't complain, if we didn't try to dump this pain elsewhere, we'd be stuck to observe it and to watch it, to look at it, to see, oof, I need to stop that. I need to do better. Huh? Hand.
Hands.
The Stampalias.
Hello.
Hi.
So, after listening to you talk about the group and talk about basically the individuals, I guess the question I have is getting to know each one of them, and through Chris and his upbringing, we've always taught him that, you know, you may not like everybody that you come in contact with, but you still need to be able to get along with them. You got to find something, some key there that is going to connect you. It may not be a lot of different things, but you got to be able to work around some of the differences and show that you're, you know, that you can handle any situation. And I'm sure in this group, it's hard to do that because you're all individuals. You all have your own, you know, likes and dislikes. And I'm just hoping that as a group that you're able to get out in the open amongst the group, be it you've got a difference of opinion or whatever it be with one individual, that it comes out throughout the whole group.
So I you know, that is a very common, you know, like a very common thing, you know, a very common solution to having relationships with someone you don't like is, you know, we say, okay, well, maybe you don't like everybody there, but it's up to you to try to find a way where you can have a relationship with them, maybe find something you have in common. I think that we have the opportunity and possibility to enjoy everybody the same. And I think what happens is, or what needs to happen is we're in a position where we're with all these people, and for some reason, just out of some of these people, we don't like here, and this person, that is a huge moment to look. That is a moment of discovery to look within yourself. Look at why you don't like this person and try to discover it. And now this is not looking at why you don't like them because the way they behave. This is why you're looking at why you don't like them because the way it affects you. The reason why we don't like others are because we feel threatened, we feel dominated, we feel insecure. We don't like the way they behave because it makes us feel a certain way. It has absolutely nothing to do with this person whatsoever. It has nothing to do with how they are. It has to do with how we are and how we receive the way they are. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. What you would do, so we say I see somebody I don't like and I look at it and I say, okay, I don't like it because I feel like he knows I'm inauthentic. I feel like he can see through me and knows that I'm talking bullshit sometimes. That's why I don't like him. Or I don't like him because I do the exact same stuff and I hate seeing it. I hate seeing someone else do the exact same stuff I do because it looks so bad. Now I know I look bad. You know what I mean? Like this is the real work of how it needs to be done, rather than just try and find common themes and which I think is still a great, you know, way to have a relationship and start somewhere with somebody for sure. But it needs to go deeper. It needs to be at a point where you're looking at why this is happening inside here. Why does this person make me feel this way? Why do I not like this person when they do this or when they say that? What is it inside me? What is it inside me that's getting hit? What insecurity? What is it that I think they think about me that I don't like? And so from that point, it's a conversation with this person. And you say, hey, I realize that, do you think I'm inauthentic sometimes? And they might say yes. And you're like, yeah, okay, I am. You're right. You're right. You did see me walk by the dishwasher 1,000 times while it's clean and not unload it. You have seen me totally leave my clothes on the bathroom floor knowingly and walk out. You have seen me complain about the way someone's being and then see me act the same way. These are the reasons why we push ourselves away from people. We do not want to look at ourselves. And the possibility that this person might make us confront the way that we are and the way that we feel is scary. So we don't like this person. We don't like it.
Have you ever thought, why am I letting this other person control my thoughts?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's exactly what it is.
Right.
It's this person has done something inside here. Well, it's not on them, it's on you. It's the way you receive it. It's this thing inside here, these thoughts that we are so attached with running, and we just go with them. We're on for the ride. These thoughts upside that we need to learn to separate ourselves from. That's another subject. I mean, we can talk about it. That's a whole other solutions. Yeah. Yeah. Hand.
Robert.
Can you hear me, pal?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Hey,
I got you.
Nicely done. You're a natural. You're just a natural there. So I have a question for you. When you're thinking about getting out of the box and it's not a confrontation when having a conversation, is it to have that happen? Is it courage or energy that is needed to take that step? And do you become more courageous and have more energy to continue?
Yeah, okay. I think in order to use the word courageous, there has to be an aspect of fear, right? And like the experience that I had when I heard that somebody was talking bad about me, it was not a moment of fear. So I don't think courageous comes with it. It's just a moment of, I guess, I don't want to say humble. I mean, it's just a moment of, I'm the most humblest guy there is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just a moment of truly caring about how others see you in order to do better. It's seeing people as people. And when you see people as people, you're willing to listen to their point of view about you and take a look at it. I mean, if the goal is to actually do better, I want the result, I want to be better. If I'm willing just to focus on that result, listening to how people tell me to do better is going to make me feel good, not bad, because that's the result that I want. So being open to that fact, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And that's kind of the energy. Like, I think, I think maybe there's this idea perhaps that you're going to be courageous when you're willing to go up to this person and ask them how they feel about you. You know, you heard that maybe they said something about you. And so you're trying to build up the courage to go over there and find out so you can hear it about yourself and take it, which I can understand that. I can see that. But my experience that happened to me wasn't like that because there was no fear to begin with in the first place. So there was no need for the courage. It was just me seriously wondering, what was it in me that makes him see me that way?
So it's that motivation. It's that motivation.
Yeah, that's it. Motivation of wanting to be better, to do better, to change, and to always change. To, you know, the fact that you can change is good. Art always says, you know, you can be better, right? He'll say, you know, other people will be telling you to do better in their own certain ways, complaining, however, they're telling you that you can do better. And that's good news, right? Yeah. I mean, that's great news that you can be better. You know, that's fantastic. I want to be better. Great. Let's do it. You know, let me find out how.
Hold that thought, Bertie. I'm going to go do the dishes just as soon as he's done. I'm going to work on it. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve and Bertie. Thanks, Pam and Dave. Hey, would this in my life, so I'm not in Rebuild right now. in my life, would that be with anybody, or would I more focus on the ones that I want a relationship with? Like somebody hits my shit at the grocery store because she's just hits my shit. I don't really care to figure out why she hits my shit, but it'd be more with just my like group, right?
Well, I think the reason why it's still important is because it's still a moment to look at an insecurity, because when it's a random stranger, it has, when a random stranger hits your shit, that's when you know it has nothing to do with them, because you don't even know them. There is just something that they have done, said, behaved that hit inside here. And it's still a moment to consider and look. It doesn't mean that you have to go up to this person and ask and be like, why did you say that about me? You know, because it's a total stranger. You might not even get a good answer. But it's still something to be aware of. It's just that with our close family members and friends that we do have a relationship with, we have a much better opportunity to have a conversation about it. We have a much better opportunity to find out exactly how they see us and why they see us. With the stranger, it's different. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have to look at insecurity. Like I said, like you're in the grocery store, somebody does something, says something that hits your shit. You still need to take that time to look at it, you know, find out why. Maybe it's a moment where you feel inferior. Maybe it's a moment that you feel dominated. What is it that this person does that makes you so offended? I mean, if a random stranger came up to you and said, you're a terrible dog, you know, and you're not a dog, it wouldn't make you angry. But they came to you and said, oh, you're a terrible mom, you know, just by seeing you do one thing in the store, that might make you upset. There's something that you're taking serious, something that is sticking inside your brain that makes this insecurity arise. And that insecurity is something to look at and to consider and to work on bettering, improving. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, or like it could be the checker who's I think is going too slow, or it could be the lady he uses 25 coupons, you know, but so I just need to step back and just go.
Well, that's also a moment of not accepting your current experience.
Why am I not just taking a breath and going up? She's using 25 coupons. I wish I could too.
We get so focused on the things we can't change. We get so hyper focused on these things that we can't change. You know, there is Hal Elrod is this guy who does this talk. We listened to him, and he was in a terrible car accident, just like Chris was. And so it was really great to hear that perspective from somebody who had some hope and some experience, strength, and hope for Chris. But he talks about this thing that he called the 5-minute rule. And later for him, it became the 5-second rule. And what he does is in the first 5 minutes, he considers, is this something I can change? And if he realizes that it's not, he accepts it and lets it be. So is the person in front of me using coupons something I can change? No. Is slow traffic something I can change? No. It just is. Sit there and enjoy your experience. Get on to the next one.
Yeah,
you know?
Awesome.
I had like that today, kind of. I was coming back from lunch, and there's this really good taco bus. So I was like taking a bite of my really delicious burrito with my Chipotle sour cream, right?
Sounds like
and
good, yeah.
It was down in Fife. You come over the overpass, and there's like a stoplight, right? And it's red for me. And then like literally from here to the garage, there's like 150 feet. And there's another stoplight, right? My light turns green. That stoplight's red. So I'm like taking a bite of my burrito. I'm kind of just like slowly going to the red light. And the guy behind me honked. And I thought like, sorry, dude. And I got to the red light and I was like, man, I wish I could have got to this red light quicker for you. Because he was still behind me. I kind of felt bad for the guy, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
No,
It just reminded me of,
that's
like,
funny.
I can't change.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Still be in front of you either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My burrito is really good though.
Yeah. Good burrito. Good experience. Yeah.
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 You gotta love the burrito and you gotta love that red light and just kind of like go like this to the guy in back of you, all the fingers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All the fingers. So you've referenced my box several times, or getting out of the box, right? And I wanted a little bit of a better definition of the box. Okay. I think the box is where your ego's at, your superiority is at, and like where you need to be right is at. Is that right? Or can you tell me more about
yeah. So your box. yeah, being in the box means you're being is now there's self-betrayal. This is, along the same lines, but it's different. Being in the box is also called self-deception. That's any point of self-deception. You're deceiving yourself. You're looking at deceiving yourself is when you don't, it's self-evident with deceiving yourself, you're deceiving yourself. But those are the moments that you're in complaint. Those are the moments that you are looking outside of yourself. It is the moments that you are seeing people as objects. You're seeing them as annoying. You're seeing them as lazy. You're seeing them as insignificant. You're seeing them as incapable.
So that's your ego.
It's definitely, it coincides completely with your ego. It coincides completely with being stuck in your thoughts, with running with what these are saying, not with what this is saying, what your soul, the truth is. That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Does that actually help?
It does, yeah, because it's just kind of the concept of referencing, get out of the box and trying to
right, get out of the box.
What the box is.
Yeah, you can also say getting out of the box is being present. You can also say getting out of the box is when we're able to separate ourselves from our thoughts, separate ourselves from the ego. When you are in that position, approaching others is a lot easier compared to approaching them from in the box or within your thoughts, because those are complaints. That's the negativity that's coming through, compared to being out here, looking at the truth of things. Now, looking at the truth of things is you're looking at the way people are looking at you, looking at actually how you are, how people perceive the way you're behaving, how you talk, how you act, what you do, how you say it, your self-betrayals, your hypocrisy, looking at all those things.
Is the moment when you catch yourself in the box, do you kind of just have that little snap moment where you're like, wait,
the moment, this is the fun part. And then you the moment you catch yourself in the box, for that moment, you're out of the box.
Okay.
The moment you see it, you're out. Now, you can easily go right back in it, sure. But that's the moment that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen for you to be out of it. People say, well, how do I get outside this box? What do I have to do? It's kind of like when Art says, that saying he talks about when you're in LA and you have a map of LA and you're looking for LA, you're never going to find it because you're already there. You're never going to find it. Same with how do I get out of the box? Well, you don't get out of the box by trying to get out of the box. You get out of the box by noticing it's there, by realizing that you're in it, realizing that you're in this mode where you're stuck on your thoughts, when you're in this mode where you're seeing people as objects, when you're seeing them as annoying, when you're complaining about them, when you're not wondering how you can do better, how you can improve, how you can achieve this result. Right? Okay. Thank you, Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry.
Where's Brian?
Hey, we're back.
Oh, Pam.
We're taking turns.
We're taking, in the halftime, we're sitting here arguing back and forth about what we need to do.
I like it.
Now, I think something that came to mind while I was listening to this was that it seems like when I go back in my personal life, the faster that I came to a conclusion, the less likely that conclusion had value. And I remember all the way back in elementary school, we were the assignment was to write a poem. And I was a hotshot kid, and I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, whatever it was. And I put a bunch of words together that rhymed, and in 20 seconds I was done and handed the paper to my teacher. I was proud. I was the first one to be done and all that. And the teacher just looked at me and said, you know what? I'm going to put as much effort into giving you this grade as you put into accomplishing this assignment. And he gave me an F. He didn't even look at it. And that's probably the grade I deserve. But as I've gone through life, if I think back and if I can consciously identify specific situations where I very quickly reached a conclusion about something, though that conclusion would have had much more value had I sat back and evaluated all the different aspects of the things that were going on at the time. And so now I think one of the things that I do is I try to sit back and relax. You know, they talk about count to 3, take 3 deep breaths. You know, there's different ways of looking at it. But if you can sit back and spend the time, it's your effort to understand what's happening around you, including the people in that, you're going to get a lot more value out of anything that's derived from that situation.
Yeah.
And we don't do that. We talk about young people today, the immediate gratification and all that. And I don't even think that's a fair analogy. When I look back at myself, you know, growing up, I was quick to try to come to resolution. So I don't even know that, you know, you can't blame the generation today for any of that. We all do it. At least we've done it.
Yeah. So this is kind of our curse that we have is we've had this issue where we don't like our current experience, and we found a solution that solved it within an instant. We found this, you know, we found opiates, we found alcohol, we found meth, we found weed, we found these things that once we did, it kicked in right away. We no longer are in a position where we're now in a position where we accepted our current experience. And now what happens is within this recovery, there is work that needs to happen. There needs to be a movement, step-by-step stuff happening within our lives every day, more and more, building up to a place where it can happen more frequently. So it's when we're so used to this, you know, instant gratification, we are so used to this way of instantly being okay with our current experience. So now it gets harder for us because we have to come to the conclusion that maybe there's something that we actually have to work for now, that there's something that we need to build up to. And the journey of that happening, when you get to the end of it, is a wonderful thing. And it allows me to maybe give some advice to other people because of that journey. So it's beneficial. That makes sense. The thought patterns that I went through, the complaints that I've said, the complaints I've heard, the way I behaved, the insecurities that I don't have anymore, the insecurities that I still have, all this work that builds up to being at a place where I'm okay with my current experience now. And for me to get okay with my current experience is a lot easier compared to when I first started. So we start off, we have this way of making it happen right away with our drugs. And then we move to this lifestyle where now we have to work for it. And that's hard. That's hard at first. You know, it's hard. It's hard until we see the truth of it. And once you see the truth of it, it's a miracle. You know, that mindset that takes place when you actually have a transfer, right? This thought pattern or this belief, you obtain this belief that now you can accept your current experience without drugs. I mean, the price of that mind shift occurring is priceless. I can't even put a price on it. And for the guys here to have the opportunity to be able to be in that part in their life where they no longer obsess about using and can accept whatever experience they go through, to actually care and to actually listen to when they hear a complaint about them and not be upset or angry about it, but to actually investigate it and to look at it. To be able to do that without the pain and the suffering involved with it is a gift. And it feels so good. I mean, it still hits me, you know. I mean, what hits me probably the most is every time Art tells me I need to do better. Art tells me I need to do better. That you know, more so than others telling me, that's what usually makes me insecure. I feel like I've gotten better at it, but it still happens from time to time. You know, still working on it. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. We're so quick to make our conclusions. We never think about it. We never think about the aspects of how other people see us. We don't think about how our reaction is going to affect our family members around us. We don't think about how many people spend all their time and money and effort into making sure we're okay and we're safe. And we still make our rash decisions despite that and hurt everyone around us.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys again. Hey, one before you go, Renee. Nikki Lyons, you had unmuted yourself and I remuted you. Did you have something to say? If you did, unmute yourself again. Otherwise, we'll go on with Renee. Okay, it's
Hi,
all
Kyle.
Renee.
Hey, so you kind of just touched upon what I was going to ask as far as what you guys do at the house and in the program, and you have, you know, I call you guys the kids. I don't mean to call you the kids, but how
Kids.
clients, well, to me, because I'm old.
We are.
Yeah. But the clients, you know, because they work in a program with you guys, with Art and with you, and you know, with their housemates and everything, and they're accountable and they speak up and they participate in everything. Do you think that it's easier for the clients, the addicts, to be open to strangers? Like, I'm not, you know, like people that aren't their immediate family, like their parents or their siblings or their spouses or their kids, and they're actually, you know, like you said, they're less responsive to them. They might even be mean and nasty and ungrateful to the people that actually support them. And do you think that the reason that might be is because there are deeper feelings for those people, like their parents or whatever, or their siblings, or their spouses, and it's harder to like open up those wounds and be vulnerable? Is that the reason? I don't know.
Well, yeah, so I see a couple things happening. That's true. That's definitely true for a lot of clients. A few things happen. You know, one thing that happens with family members and addicts is resentments. And these resentments form with the family members. And so those resentments also at times for a lot of clients make it so when their family talks to them, they're not qualified or they're not able. Addicts, you know, I mean, we see our parents in these moments of self-betrayal and hypocrisy, and we see our parents in moments of complaining about other people to us, and we see them do these things. So to be willing to open up back with them is hard sometimes because we'll hold it against them. But see, the other thing that happens here at this house is it's part of my job, and also the guys here, to not allow people to be a victim to their circumstance. And family members will allow a lot of the times they're out to be a victim of their circumstance because they don't know another way of being. They don't know another possibility of being. So we're able to be here and sit here and hear an issue and be able to talk successfully and be like, listen, I want you to see that you're being a victim right now. Can you see that? Can you see that you are using your life, the way your life is, to justify your behavior? Can you see the fact that you use your family to justify your behavior? You justify the way other people are to justify the way you are. We're able to point that out a lot easier because we take a stand for it. We take a stand for not allowing it to happen. And when parents or other family members have been in this position to hear their child and to hear their loved one go through this pain, it's really easy or really hard for them to not allow their family member to be a victim and not allow their family member to get away with justifying the actions of others, justifying their behavior from the actions of others. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And also, so it's really hard, I think. I mean, I don't know for everybody, but I would imagine it's hard as a loved one to be outside of the box, to see your addict or whatever outside of the box and just be very, very honest, you know, like, I care about you, but this is what I see. And it's not a judgment, and it's not a, you know, like a condemnation. And maybe it's hard for the addict to accept that truth because for years, maybe it was, you know, you're such a disappointment, or you're, you know what I'm saying? Is that part of the reason why
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you go to reconcile that? Because I mean, we're all here because we're trying to build back our relationships with our loved ones or whatever. So how do we as the family meet the addict? Like where does that meeting come from? You know, how do they
So, see, first of all, we're addicts, and as addicts, we are stubborn. You know, we are stubborn people, and it's very possible that we are in a position where we just don't care about what other people want to tell us and how we are. We're not willing to look at the fact that we need to do better, because for whatever reason we feel less than when people do that. We feel inadequate. We feel insecure, and we don't like the way that feels, and we're not willing to admit that we need to do better and that we can do better. But that being said, that there is a way. The way we invite others is it has to start with us. So it has to start with one family member saying, I mean, like I said, for addicts it's different, and Art will say the same thing. You know, it's a lot harder when it comes to dealing with addicts. But say you have a separate family member you're dealing with who's not your addict, right? Where you want to do this thing in the relationship where you want to be able to communicate with each other what you see about each other, so you both can take that into account and do the change. Well, the only way that's going to work is if you initiate the conversation. You have to initiate it and be at a point where you're willing to hear it about you first. That's the only way to make it work. Because when they see the fact that you're willing to sit there and to listen to that and make the change, it opens up the possibility for them to do the same. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, they still might not decide to do it, but it doesn't matter, because it's not for them in the first place. It's for you. It's for you to have the peace of mind about how you can be a better person. You know, and now if the result does end up being that you want this person to improve and to be better and to have a successful life, the best thing you can do is have a successful life with yourself and let them see that. Let them see that change that takes place in you. And hopefully that invites them to want the same. Now, when it comes to other, like kids and other parts of your life, but you have some modicum of control, you can take a stand and require them to be different or require them out of the house, stuff like that. You can still require stuff from them, and from a position outside the box, by the way. And maybe you could be at a point and you feel comfortable enough to ask this addict what they see about you and where they've seen you, betray yourself and all that stuff. Sure. But I feel like it definitely needs to come from an addict who's been in recovery for a minute, because us using addicts are very spiteful, or we'll bring up random bullshit that doesn't even matter just to piss you off and to make you hurt. And so definitely be better if it's someone who's been in recovery for a minute, somebody who can show a little bit more compassion and tell you about yourself easier.
Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
That was a great question, Renee, and what a great answer too.
I just want to say one more thing too. Like, and when I say victim, do I mean it derogatorily? No, I don't. I'm always telling these guys, when I say the word victim, it's not derogatory. I'm not saying it as like I'm a poor me little victim. I'm saying there's two ways to be in your life. You can be a leader in your life, or you can be a victim in your life. That's what I mean by being a victim. Now, yes, somebody who uses their terrible trauma and experiences that they have attached to justify the way they behave is a victim. Yes. But a victim is anybody who uses outside sources to justify how they are. That's the life of a victim. When you are complaining, you are a victim. You are using outside sources to no longer have to look at here. That's the life of a victim. A leader is someone who is always able to be willing to look inside to see how you can be a better person and how you can improve. That's what it is. So that's what I mean by victim, and it's not derogatory. Okay. Someone else have their hand up?
Nope, nobody else, and it's 8:26.
Bundle, say something.
Bundle.
Come on, Kylie Wiley. I've known Kyle since he was like 4, I think. He was a little bundle when I met him.
Unmute military.
Bundle, just say hi for heaven's sakes.
I don't think he's there.
He has to be there.
Oh no, he's not.
No.
He's tuning in. He's remote.
So doesn't mean he can't say hi.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was for a while.
Okay, all right. Okay, I will do my joke. You failed me, Bundle. Okay. Just kidding. My joke is, we're gonna have Nico stop. There we go. Okay, so I got a UA from Stamp today. I collected UA from him. Now I have my own stamp collection.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Actually, I'll get one from Preston today too.
Yeah, you got a peak collection.
Okay, so I guess, yeah. Oh, that is good. Yeah. I'm gonna get a UA from P also. I'll have a P collection. I just saw that one by myself.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so in closing, there's just a few things. Oh, hey, Troy McCannon. Troy. I see Troy. Okay, all right.
Troy.
So there's just a few things that I want to make a point of in closing. So I challenge everybody to be aware in these moments of complaint. And when we're trying to require others to do better, what's going on inside our head? Are we doing it as a complaint, or are we doing it outside this box? Are we doing it while looking at this person as a person and not as an object? Are we doing it to want this person to succeed in life and be happy? Or are we doing it because we want a problem solved and we're tired of dealing with them? Let's look at the motivations inside. Let's work on our complaints. Let's work on getting results and the strategies behind it. If you focus on just the result, you no longer care about your insecurities. That's what I found for me. When I focus on getting the results, I no longer care how people speak to me. Because what happens is, the result is I only get better. The result is I have to take in consideration what they say. And by the way, not everything they say has to be true. Maybe you discover it's not. Maybe you discover that this person is just justifying their own self-betrayal by justifying you in some inaccurate way. Like I was trying to justify Bundle the one time when he had COVID. That was wrong and not even right. But investigate it. The possibility of it being true is there. Okay. I thank everybody for being on. I hope this was as good as last time. I will find out when Art watches it.
Oh, Kyle, it was great. It was great. Rebuild crew, you did a great job again. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And remember, you guys can all watch this again once it's up on YouTube. It's good to review all these. I reviewed Arts 1, 2, and 3 the last 3 weeks.
Last thing I want to say. Remember, this point that I brought up earlier, thinking about the one person in this team that you may be on who you see as the problem. And they don't realize they are the issue. I want you to consider that person may be you. Just a consideration. Doesn't mean it's true. It's just a possibility that this person who doesn't see himself as a problem might be you because you don't see yourself as a problem. And by doing that, you will see the problems and where you are. And then you'll be forced to have to change it. Otherwise, the results of the team or results that you're trying to achieve will not happen. Okay. I'm done.
Go ahead.
There you go.
That was awesome. It was awesome. That was really good, Kyle. Thank you.
Thanks for chiming in, Mom. Love you.
Thanks for chiming in, Mom. He loves you.
So sweet. Thank you, everyone.
Right, music producer man thing.
Yeah, I like big butts.
He likes big butts.
Cannot lie.
He lies all the time. No.
He's doing great. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much. And everybody have a great week. And virtual hug to all you guys from Team Battlefield. We miss all those hugs. We can't wait till we can hug you guys again. Oh, there we go. Hugs, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks for being on, guys.